Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Mengel. When he approached me to talk about this conference, I was thinking why I have to talk, because I'm, the farthest one who are not directly affected by China in this CPEC or One Belt One Road initiative. However, I thought that I have to. We have been having a lot of conflict with Chinese government in the history, and we have a chain of islands called Senkaku Island, where the Chinese, it's not the naval ship, but the patrol ship is coming every day, violating the territorial water, also airspace. And this is what they do. This is a kind of, the first step. And in case of Balochistan, it's going to be fourth grade or fifth grade, right? It's like a really dangerous area. And then I was thinking, what I have to talk about China is their ideology, which is rooted from Sinocentrism, and they are trying to control the whole world by Han Chinese. This is one of the reasons. And this CPEC is coming from Guadal. However, the other side is Xinjiang, which is also suppressed by the Chinese government. Okay, so they are not taking them, considering them as a human. On the other hand, it's also saying they are not thinking the Baloch people as their human. Maybe second class or third class person. This is the reason why they choose this area at the first thing. Another thing is that normally when the China export the products, they goes to the Malacca Strait, and it's really a detour for China to export to the Europe or to the Africa. However, this 2,000 kilometer, what's that?
2,500.
5 kilometer. Okay. This the load, pipelines and load and optical fibers, that is benefit only China, as the person here are talking. And before going to the details, I came from Japan, and we're having some trouble of COVID-19 virus. But so far I don't have any fever, I don't have any sneezing, so you can stay here without any trouble. So speaking of which, the number of the infection in Japan is 293 as of today, and while China is more than 80,000, South Korea over 5,300, Italy 2,500, Ireland 2,300. I believe it is really coincident that Italy is the first European country and only country signed agreement for China of One Belt One Road initiative, if I remember correctly. Right?
Yes.
Yes. So, United States announced to prohibit travel to Italy, Iran, and South Korea. And China is very much strongly denying that coronavirus was not leaked from Chinese Wuhan virus laboratories, which was created as a biological weapons. They are denying the fact, denying it. When China denies very strongly and with a lot of forces, that in the history, always China wants to hide something by spending a lot of effort and a lot of budget to pursue it, and then they are currently doing it even in the United Nations. If you go to the United Nations, yesterday I went there and I found there are displaying many photographs which is showing Xinjiang Autonomous Region and where they are suppressing the people there. And it is said, it is reported that over 1 million or millions of people are put in a concentration camp, which they call it re-education camp or something.
So they are Muslim.
I'm sorry?
They are Muslim.
Muslim.
Yeah, Muslim, yeah, yes.
Yes,
Voilà, so this is a big problem because how will the Chinese population
Please,
cope?
questions at time. So
Okay, and they're trying to destroy the body of their Uyghurs, this Uyghurs tradition and also languages. And also, I saw the last time when I was here, also they are displaying a panel of the photographs, tons of photographs, and distributing kind of handouts, booklets to the person who comes to visit their booth. And at this time, they're adding three more things. Two DVDs, which is showing how the Uyghurs are living happily and how they're developing the countries and areas. And we all know that Uyghurs are detained and put in the concentration camp. And those Uyghurs are forcibly separated from their family, wife, husband, and children. And they put into their, like a jail. And the children are also kept orphanage, just like hostage to their parents. So parents whose children have been taken away, Chinese authorities are forced to study whatever Chinese government teaches repeatedly as their sutra, which is nothing different from brainwashing the people. And recently, one of my Uyghur friends came to me reporting that next to their concentration camp, Chinese authority built a hospital. And next to the hospital, they built a cemetery to cremate the person, dead body. As I said, Italy is the first European nation signed and Belt and Road Initiative agreement with China. This will be benefit China, but not democratic Western countries, as these gentlemen said. And CPEC is a core part of the Chinese ambition to control the whole world by hand Chinese, which we led from their Sinocentrism that has planted in their mind from ancient times. One Belt and One Road initiative is literally embodies the Sinocentrism, which is rooted in their mind. And in order to counter China's expansionism, we need to pay attention to the human rights. That is a weak point of the China. And everyone knows the Chinese threaten their own people. Their country, the country who engage with them would be threatened, treated better than Chinese people. I don't think that anybody who is outside of China would not be treated better than Chinese people. And the starting point of CPEC is Xinjiang in better known as East Turkestan, and that is Muslim the area. And where the Uyghurs are detained in the concentration camp and Guadal port through controversial both Pakistan and Indian side of Kashmir. Is going through Kashmir, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is including what to call that? Karakoram Highway. That is the world's highest altitude over 4,000 meters, and they are making load and rail load, pipelines, natural gas, optical fiber, and so on. Within this plan, this is solely benefit China to step into the Indian Ocean, as everybody said here, and that is a benefit international trade for only China. And currently, the most of the exportation is going through the Malacca Strait, and China is worried about the blockage by the Western countries in that region. So they have been worried about that, and now they found the solution. And therefore, there is an alternative for the. This is the most efficient way for China. Only China is benefiting from it. And I would like to point out two problems in this picture. One, China doesn't care about the human rights of who are living in the region, as they don't care about their own people. How they can treat others better than their own people. Definitely, they will not treat you or the nations who participate in their project are the same. When they economically invade some region, they force their culture, value, and language, which destroy the culture value of the place, the region. And number two, China has no intention to spare any profit they would get from the region to the people in the region, but if they just spend money for the infrastructure, for their further income. And recently, due to many deaths of Chinese people affected by COVID-19 in Wuhan, the city is hiring workers at a very high salary who need to transport the dead body from the hospital to cremate them, and also the workers to cremate the dead body. And there is, for the workers or transportation, get the $90, approximately $90 US per hour, which is really expensive for Chinese people. And also, to cremate a dead body, it's like a $600 for every 4 hours. And there is a condition for the workers. And the recruitment says that any gender from 16 to 50 years old. This is one thing. And secondly, physically strong enough. And third one is the person who don't fear ghost. Who don't fear ghost. I spoke with a gentleman living in Japan who is also legal and about this recruitment. He said to me, do you know, because the so-called dead body are inserted into the plastic bag with a zipper on the top and transported to the cemetery. However, the reason of the particular condition, which is person don't fear the ghost, is because many of those so-called dead bodies are not dead completely. But because Chinese government is fear the virus, they transport and cremate the body alive. We need to speak out the world society not to engage in this CPEC as well as One Belt, One Road initiative until China changes their mind and protect the human rights. That's what I think. And one more thing, Japanese government is stupid enough to invite Xi Jinping as a state guest in April. And that will show to the world that we admit what the China has been doing. So we are strongly opposing, and thanks God that this COVID-19 made a delay or postpone this visit to Japan until September or October. But anyway, we are strongly opposing to that, and sadly there are politicians or bureaucrats who are bribed by China, even within the Japanese government. So we are now trying to find out who is doing it, who is manipulating the situation. So we have to stick together, and we are always behind of the Baloch people and other minority people. And I really hope that one day we can have a liberty in whole world. Thank you very much.